Yeah.
If you're looking for a love for
Is that not they're not ones you've already added? No, that's from last week.
Well,
we've done last Monday to Monday.
That's from Monday last week to now.
Nice. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Uncleanables Podcast. I believe we're on episode 61 now.
61, yeah.
That
was a great lineup with Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, if I manage to get it sorted,
Yep.
this will make a lot of sense because it's already out.
Yep.
But if I haven't sorted it yet, then I think I'll sort it.
Then sit tight. I think you will. I'm highly confident.
Yeah, I managed to do half the fast this morning, so
Mate, I want to marry your brain.
based on that, I should be able to do the other half tomorrow.
This
Assuming it all goes well.
Ryan's a fantastic editor. He's got a very, very good brain with computers.
Every time I said to you, I think I've nailed it, that I ran into a problem.
Oh, did you?
Every time I texted you, I was like, no, we're sorted.
I was getting so happy this morning as well.
Yeah, and then I was like, no, hang on.
I told my missus, I went home and I was like, mate, I'm raging. Sunday. I said, 3 geezers giving up their Sunday. I said, like, potentially it's all wasted. So.
But like sometimes, I mean, it's typical that it's happened on such like a good episode.
Mate, I know.
Sometimes problems have to arise for you to learn lessons.
Yep.
I always say some lessons have to be learned, some lessons can be taught.
That's very good.
Someone could have taught us that lesson though. I would have bought this much sooner, but we had to learn that.
But I like it though. I like it.
Yeah. Right. Sometimes you can't tell someone something, they have to find out for themselves.
Never had that before.
I mean, you can word it however you want. It all means the same thing. Right. So, shall we start with what? Can you hear that? Oh!
It's time for how many
I like that. I think we need to have a. Can you hear? I think we should just double down on the can you hear that?
Right. Here we go. So we've got some new players in the game. Can you grab?
Of course I can, son.
Right, I'm going to get you to put.
Remember them in school?
I just think you can see the black letters a little bit more than the red on the camera. That's why I brought it in.
Yeah.
So if you can just add Tidal to the bottom there.
Tidal, yeah.
Our mate Jace, he joined in. That is the last entry, unless someone drops out.
Is he
that we
Tidal
can fit
wave?
on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had one last week, 4 this week.
One last week, 4 this week.
And now we're on a new week.
Ho ho ho!
So, let's quickly, let me give you that. Let's quickly just tally this up and see where we're at.
7,
10. I'm in the wrong.
Who's cheating? Mate, is that 22?
Yeah, some guy.
What is
It is clean.
That's Wales,
somewhere in Wales, yeah.
CVS is 5. Oh, no, it's 10. 10, 33. Then you want 5 and 5.
5 and 5. So these two at the bottom are actually like our local competitors.
Yeah.
That's Adam and Jason. We've had a few others. Yeah, we've got Claire. I don't know how to pronounce that name, so I'm not.
Is that clean?
It's like
Simru.
Sinru, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think it's Welsh for Welsh.
Oh, is it?
Like, I think it's Welsh for Wales. Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Someone confirm that. I don't know.
It's always under the flags of the dragon. Isn't it?
Yeah. BKC something cleaning, bare knuckle cleaning, or something like that. Can't remember. It is written out on the YouTube. Clean to the core, which I thought was an awesome business name.
That looks like Arsenal FC.
These two have only given us their latest week's figures, so they are a week behind, but beating some of the people with 2 weeks.
I feel like burning this board.
Entry.
Fucking my name up there. I'm the lowest scorer out of everyone.
But you've had an okay week, so let's see how many customers you've added to your business this week, Big Dan.
You're first.
Oh, I'm first. So I've added 3 new customers this week. It's been a bit of a slow one.
And I've added a gigantic 7. So I've had a
Jesus!
much better
so
week.
we're almost equal now, aren't we? So I'm on 13.
And I'm on 10.
10. Creeping up.
Yeah.
So don't forget to leave your comments, guys, with your latest
We need to know how many you've got
figures.
for the leaderboards.
Yes, and you know what I looked at earlier?
Go on.
So on Squeegee, which you are now signed up to.
Yes.
You got the app?
No. Yes and no. So basically, I haven't signed up yet to it because I wanted to speak to you about bits and pieces.
We'll talk about that in a minute then.
Okay.
On Squeegee, there's a report you can run. Because remember we said about...
leaving money on the table, sending that.
No, whether it was new customers or new jobs.
Yes.
We're talking about new customers in this situation. But I thought, do they have a new, like, added jobs report? Right, which they do.
Yeah.
going to give you 3 guesses on how many jobs I added in July this year.
From existing customers.
So is it just in total? So that's new customers and existing customers that are already on the system.
So a window clean, a job, a roof scrape, and a pressure washer.
Any job into Squeegee for the month of July.
Mate.
Doesn't have to have taken place in July, but I've booked it in July. So like we've done new customers in a week.
I reckon 140.
Very, very close. It was 108.
Was it really?
108.
Yeah. I would expect
jobs added in 1 month.
Yeah, that's incredible. But then when you say it like that, I don't think it's not that silly, it's not that far-fetched of a number. Put it like that.
I thought it was quite crazy.
No, it's good, but like, you might have, I mean, what's your best day, job-wise? You might have 3 or 4 jobs booking in a day, mightn't you?
Potentially, yeah.
But then,
so very, very rarely more than 3 jobs in a day. I think I'm adding to. So, like, I've got one on the emails to add, but that's a previous customer I cleaned for a couple of years ago. I don't think I've added anyone else in today.
So it's interesting you say that, because it kind of made an awful lot of sense to me today to advertise everywhere. Okay, so I've got a banner up on a job I was doing today. My banner's there. Whilst I was on the job, I also dropped off 5 leaflets either side and on the other side of the road as well. So
it's a horrible road to work on, isn't it?
That one.
I drove past that job today. Did a very nice job.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So anyway, so while I was there, right, so I had the banner advertising, I had my leaflet advertising, also the customer, obviously, he see the job I'd done for the neighbour.
Stand in the road and go.
But he came out and he said a couple of his mates had been over, seen the driveway, loved it, said, look.
Oh, by the way, when I drove past, I have to tell you, there's a splash on their back garage door.
Is there really?
Yeah. I would go and hit that before he calls you.
All right, nice.
He won't see it now because it's dark.
I need to go and sweep it anyway, because it done that wet thing with the sand. I also had a lead from the email. From our website, which we're going to talk about, from our website, right? Then I got to my window cleaning round and she said, can you do my friends round the back, right? And then when I was there, I got a checker trade inquiry. So in terms of like business rolling in, today's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it kind of pays. I mean, it's not obviously not every day's like that, but I think you definitely have to go down every avenue stream.
Well, that's exactly what Dan said, didn't he? So when he was spending £3,000 a month on average.
Yeah.
And that was across Facebook, Google, leaflets, checker trade,
canvassing,
everything, absolutely everything. And even then, he was only adding 50 customers a month.
You have to drop that now, because you have to do the Dan one next and launch this one after by saying
I'm confident I'll get it done.
You will get it done. No, it's mega interesting. I think it is mega interesting.
So I was thinking about. Now, obviously, I'm not saying like I'm a marketing guru or anything, but I've added 13 jobs this month, basically, isn't it? This is kind of, it's like the 2.5 week of this month, about halfway through. So assuming I stay on that trajectory for the rest of the month, we'll be looking at 26 new customers. I've spent £610 this month for 26 customers.
Yeah.
Dan was spending £3,000 for 50 customers.
Yeah.
So I think, again,
you're harvesting more meat per bullet.
I think there's definitely, as far as marketing goes, there's definitely ways you can do it that work slightly better.
I know you're going to come back at me and say, but it's all the same. But I would say, don't forget, he's already got all of his area. He's now branching into another area which he wouldn't be prominent in.
I'm not saying like what I'm doing is better or what he was doing is worse.
That's exactly what you're saying.
No, I'm just saying like the way that like you can't be as targeting when you're that size, because you've almost got to throw shit at the wall and hope something sticks.
When you say that size, go on, explain.
Because you're trying to get as many customers as possible, so you're marketing to a larger area. So like he's spending 50,000 leaflets being delivered, but I'm not going to do that size of leaflet.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
But that's going to cost more money.
Yeah, of course it is.
So I might do 20,000 leaflets, but to a more condensed area. And like you say, who might have seen my van driving around, and I get a better response.
Yeah, totally.
So the higher the marketing spend doesn't necessarily mean the more targeted. Sometimes a smaller campaign can return better results.
Yeah.
Because it's slightly more targeted. I've been thinking of going as everyone knows, I've been doing the real local town. So the ad says, are you looking for a window cleaner in town?
Yeah.
And that ad is only shown to that town, so it's completely targeted. So the only people that are going to see it are in that town. They might not live there because they might be on Facebook whilst they're in that town. But whilst they're there, they'll see the ad. I've been thinking of going even more niche into these new estates. So finding the name of the estate. Estates normally have a name.
Like Keith's in Bewley Park.
Yeah.
Money.
Or whatever it is, Blow Park, isn't it? Or something
Bewley.
like that. B-E-I-U, Blue.
It's not, it's Bewley.
No, it's Blue.
Oh, it's Bewley Park.
I'm sure it's Blue. It's like French.
It's B-E-A-L-U-I-E.
I don't think it's that long. I think it's 4 letters. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But basically saying, do you live in Bewley? Do you live in X estate?
Yeah.
Like, are you on X estate looking for a window cleaner? And then just targeting that estate.
That's interesting. How much would you spend on a campaign like that?
400 quid.
Yeah.
Maybe over a month though.
See, if you could get
because you want them to see you like a couple of times.
One thing that we never touched on was a comment about. Someone said about I said about the first clean for free. Yeah. Someone commented. He'll know who he is. And he said he offers, I think it's 3 free cleans a year if you sign up on this day. And he staggers them, so you get the 3rd one free, then the 9th, and then the 12th, or something along them lines. And I thought, that's really clever, isn't it? I think it's really clever. You know, like if you had, it would kind of work if you had 10 houses in a row and you really wanted the 11th and they was really reluctant and you canvassed it and you knocked it but they just weren't interested and you're like, mate, I'll give you 3 for free.
Yeah.
You beg to differ.
It's not, I'm not saying it's a bad marketing technique. It's good. I just don't think there's enough meat on the bone to make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
So, for example, you're doing a 4 weekly clean, right? Right, let's make it super easy and say you're charging £20 a clean, so it's 240 quid a year. You're losing 60 quid of that. So that customer is now
180.
Yeah, and that's like what's that, 30%, 20% cheaper? Is that right? My maths right? Or is 30% cheaper?
No, it's a quarter, 25%.
25%.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I was in the middle. I was either side. So it's 25% discount over the year. I just don't know. And that's assuming you're doing 4 week clean, which, as it turns out, not many people do.
We need to have a chat as well about, because we went to the business show and we met a couple of people. They've watched the pod, and it seems that everyone.
Phil, shout out Ralph.
Yeah, it was Phil and Ralph, and we met Jake as well.
Yeah.
And there was one more, no?
Yeah, James, but I don't know
Philip.
if James watches. Yeah, Phil. I don't know if James watches the podcast.
Mate, did I just do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Are we surprised? No.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't realise there was so much around 4 weekly, 6 weekly, 8 weekly. Honestly, I didn't realise. I thought it was just monthly or like every other month.
I think 4 weekly is the like, traditional standard.
Yeah.
I know some my nan's window cleaner. He done 2 weekly, but it was like dirt cheap. It was like £8 a clean. But he done them every 2 weeks. So he done them twice a month. And I met another guy who was like £5, but it was like once a week. So he only needed a week's worth of work.
Yeah, that's actually brilliant. It does make a lot of sense.
But
make a £5.
If it makes sense if you just want pocket money, not if you're trying to grow a business.
Mate, he's working for every score you earn. He's working 4 times. 4 times as hard.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, he'll be dead in 10 years. You can't carry on like that. That's ridiculous.
It doesn't make business sense.
No, it don't, does it?
No, but there are people out there that do it.
Totally. See, I'm like, I do every month. I'm just the 16th of every. I mean, obviously, I'm very new to Windows.
Yeah.
So I'm not geared up around that yet. But yeah, I started off just doing like allocating days. Do you know what I mean?
See, so this is the problem that I'm running into now. So as I'm taking on more new customers, I've been offering 2, 4, 6, 8 or 12.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you want, I'll do it.
12 weekly, yeah? Did I offer that?
Quarterly clean, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I've had
a few people, but I charge double the cost. So you might as well go for a 4 weekly.
Yeah, of course.
Or even a 6 weekly, because you're paying the same amount.
Yeah.
You might as well have it done twice. So not many people actually go for it. But I've found that offering that, it's just your diary becomes a mess.
Mate, totally.
So 1 month it's all good, and then you get the 6 weeklies, they're fine because they're in the middle of the next month, but the month after they're all on the same day.
Yeah.
Because the 6 weeklies go on the 12th week and the 4 weeklies are on their 3rd clean. And they're all on the same time. So then you're like rearranging the diary. So
how many would fall on that day?
Depends on
40, would you say?
It depends on what's going on.
Yeah.
But I might get lucky and have the Thursday and Friday where like nothing's planned, so I can spread them out. But eventually I won't have that.
Yeah.
So I'm having to start thinking about it now rather than before it gets on top. So I'm just going to do 4 and 8 weekly.
I think that's what all the big boys do, isn't it?
Well, all the big companies do 6 and 12.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because
And that
the
blew my
biggest
mind.
one does it. And then the others have gone,
See, that
well, if
blows
he
my
does
mind.
it, he must know what he's doing because he's got this massive company.
Yeah. Are you talking about
Lee.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they all do it.
mate, what's his name? Lee what?
Pryor.
Mate, you said the funniest thing, and I've been laughing to myself.
Let him see it on the pod. I know what you're talking about.
I can't stop giggling. Anyway, yeah, go on.
Talking of big window cleaning companies, there's one bigger than Lee's called Abacus Window Cleaning. They followed us on Instagram today.
Really?
Yeah.
Chris touched on it. Dan touched on it, didn't he? Abacus.
He might have done, yeah. I know Phil mentioned it when we was at the business show.
What I don't get is, well, I do get it, is I always thought scaling a... Oh, shit, we was meant to talk about that, that lad. Do you remember I said? We'll talk about him in a minute. You know, like the dream is to scale the window cleaning to... We've had this conversation, if we got to 1,000, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So it's like every month rolling in. But now if you say, right, offer 12 and 6 weekly, I think that scuppers everyone's, well, our plans.
You need more customers to make the same money. And this is why I'm either missing something.
I feel like it's not computing in my brain as well.
I'm either missing
quite
something
confused.
or everyone's just wrong. Because if you were doing pressure washing, roof cleaning and stuff like that, 6 and 12 makes more sense because it leaves you more room in a month to fit one-off jobs in because you're only seeing people every 6 weeks. So it's not so much of a issue squeezing people in.
6 weeks okay, but the windows would get filthy in 12 weeks. Imagine the winter.
Yeah.
Imagine the winter.
Yeah, but I think the 12 weeks is for people that don't really want a regular window clean, but you want to secure them into. You want them to come back.
So at that point, surely it's just data. The 12 weekly clean, because you're not really going to earn any money on that, are you?
Well,
even if
it's not going to take you twice as long to do it.
Unless you double.
You charge more money. You don't charge the same money.
They don't charge the same money.
No.
So they definitely increase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like a 6 weekly might be 28 quid, and a 12 weekly might be 40 quid.
So okay, how it doesn't make any sense in my head is when they say like, yeah, we're a window cleaning company. Okay, yeah, and you got 2,000 customers, yeah. If you split 2,000 cleans over 12 weeks. 12, well, I know 6 weeks obviously, but so say 50% of them are 12 weeks.
I think it would be more like 15%. It's not going to be a lot.
What do you mean?
Because most people want a regular window.
This is what I'm trying to get. Yeah, this is what I mean though. Yeah. But even 6 weeks, I don't think it's regular. It is regular, but yeah, I just don't. I'd like to know how many are 12 weeks.
I try and book people onto a quarterly clean when they book a one-off.
Right.
So they book a one-off clean. I'll say look, do you want me to put you onto a 12 weekly, which is 4 cleans a year? It'll be the same price you've paid for your one-off. So I charge like way more.
What would you charge, like 200 quid then?
No, not that much. So like a £24 3-bed semi might be 50 quid for a one-off. So I say, look, do you want me to book you on a quarterly? So we'll come and visit you. So you haven't got to remember to call me up when your windows are getting because you're only going to call me when they're really dirty.
Oh.
So you're going to spend probably 4 weeks with filthy windows. Whereas I can get to you I can book you onto the 12 weekly, keep on top of it for you,
and you
know they're going to be dirty within a few weeks of that 12 weeks. But if you call me, I might be booked for 4 weeks and I can't fit you in.
Mate, that is a beautiful way of doing it.
So that's what I try and do a 12
That
weekly.
makes an awful lot of sense.
I thought you were going to turn it off then. I was about to swing at you.
Mate, and do you know what came up on my thingy the other day? An advert when a short when we was in the summer. We was both sat in there with a pair of shorts on in t-shirts.
Yeah.
Mate.
I've just bought an oil-filled radiator for the back of the van.
Yeah.
To stop it from freezing
It's going to
up.
be 3 degrees tonight.
Yeah.
Shocking. Anyway.
So that's something I'm thinking about already, and putting processes in place to counteract that. So I've just taken on a bunch of new work last month and this month at 6 weekly, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to service that over probably till March.
Yeah.
When I take on my full-time staff member, assuming we've added a decent amount of customers, then I'll quite happily say to the 6 weeklies, we're not doing 6 weekly anymore. You can drop down to 4 or you can go up to 8.
Yeah.
I might lose a few of them, but I think most of them will just go to 8 weekly. So yeah, I'll be earning less money out of them over the year, but as long as I retain them as customers.
I was going to say, is the end goal to sell them a big something big like a roof cleaner or a driveway?
No, look, I spoke about it on last week's pod, but I try it to
500 quid.
I like customers to be worth £500 a year to me. So if they're on a 4 weekly at 20 quid, that's £240 or £260 a year, 13 cleans a year. So I'm halfway there. Then if they have soffits and fascias done, gutters done, it quickly adds up to £500.
Yeah.
And on average, most of my regular customers are worth £500. But that takes into account one-off jobs as well.
Okay. And what you wrote down?
So you got to do you, blood.
Right, we had a message of someone who watches the pod, and he just wanted us to kind of have a chat, basically, about a couple of facts and figures. So he seems to be, from what I can gather, he focuses on window cleaning. Okay. I asked him for his last 12 months accounts, effectively. Yeah. I said roughly, what are you doing on windows? What are you doing on this? What are you doing on this? On windows, he's smashed out 22 grand's worth of windows. Yeah. Okay. Gutters, he's at a 10 grand. Yeah. And pressure washing, I think he's just started. He's at about 3 grand. Okay. So the total he's turning over is about 36,000. He wants to know where he needs to be to introduce someone to take care of the windows for him. I mean, obviously, looking at this and the conversation we had with Dan yesterday.
Well, I turn over 120 grand and I haven't got anyone with me.
So he's, I know.
So my answer is going to be very different to
However, can we just have a conversation about if he just wanted to offload maybe 1 or 2 days? Would you? So we've had this conversation before, haven't we? Because you can sub out.
I wouldn't. If he works full time, doesn't he? That guy.
I think he's
got
half time.
I'm sure he's a firefighter.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he does 4 days on, 4 days off.
Correct.
So assuming you want to have a day off, at least, he's only working 3 out of 8 days on his business.
Yes.
Why would you take someone on? Just leave your job. So the money you would pay someone, you'd pay yourself. If that's not what you want to do,
I think he's probably this is the problem as well he needs to consider is if I was working 4 days a week and I just wanted not beer money, but I wanted beer money effectively. Yeah, because if all my bills are paid, it's like I might be more inclined to offer a cheaper service, not cheaper service, but undercut someone.
Yeah, I know firefighters don't do firefighting for the money. They love their job.
Yeah.
So
is it a burning passion?
Yeah.
But okay, I know what you're saying. But yeah, he can.
So he might not want to leave his job.
You can.
At which point, you could look at taking someone on for a couple of days, like 2 of the days where you're working. I know Keith, he's a policeman, so he does a similar.
Please tell me someone's a paramedic and we've got all 3 of yous. Please tell me.
So Keith does a similar shift pattern, I think.
Yeah.
So on the days he's working, he's got a guy that goes out in his van and carries out jobs.
Do you know how that pay system breaks down? Is it just
he has told me, but
can't remember.
So Keith's happy to give him the money because he's not doing anything.
Yeah, that does make sense.
So even if he takes, and because for him it is a hobby, it's like a hobby that he gets paid for. He really enjoys the cleaning. So if he's at work, he might as well earn money out of the van, even if it just covers the insurance. Yeah. He's won. But I mean, what would you do?
I think you're right. I think I would have to consider leaving. I think
I need to know what he wants to do.
Yeah.
You know what he wants from life. If he wants this business to pay him money while he doesn't work, or if he wants the business to pay him money whilst he's a firefighter, so he has 4 days on, 4 days off, but doesn't go out cleaning on the 4 days off, then take someone on. Take them on now. But continue to build your business. They need to be bringing you in at least 8k a month, and you're paying them 2 to 3 full time, plus bonuses.
I think he's done. I think he's done very well to build that if he is working 4 days a week and having 4 days off, because effectively he's doing it in half the time we are.
Yeah.
In a weird way, in a roundabout way.
He could take someone on part time, granted, a couple of days a week.
As a PA, would that be PAYE?
Yeah, you wouldn't take someone on part time PAYE. You'd have to take them on. So potentially.
No, because there'll be a self-employed basis, won't it?
Yeah. So that's not PAYE. That's self-employed.
What's PAYE? You pay their tax.
They're employed by the company.
Oh no. So, sorry, I got that confused. I mean self-employed basis. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 days a week, self-employed basis, 150 a day.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
Plus, you've got to get them insured on the van. You're probably going to be dropping close to 15 grand a year, maybe 10, just on employing them.
Oh, on salary and that, yeah.
Salary, and obviously there's associated costs with taking someone on, self-employed or not. So you've got more insurances you need. And
also, he's not going to push your business as you would.
No, he's not going to do such a good job because he's no incentive to do such a good job. You might want to pay him a bonus if he does a good job. So then that's just money out your pocket.
I think personally, hiring someone is one of the last things you do after your business is very successful, and also it's idiot proof.
No, it completely depends on what you want from your business.
Oh, so
if you want to nick $1,000 a month
Yeah.
from your business and be completely hands off,
Yeah.
then take someone on as soon as you hit 40k a year. Pay that person 28, and you've got your $1,000 a month. Build it up, maybe another 5k for their bonus and your insurances and whatnot. And there's your $1,000 a month, hands off. But not many like it. It's a weird thing to have as a residual income because there's so much that can go wrong.
This is what I mean. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, if you literally, I feel like
if you wanted $1,000 a month, I'd probably say do something different.
Yeah, I would as well. It's an interesting
But it's a difficult question without knowing more, but also, in short, no, I wouldn't take someone on at the moment.
No. I feel like he's
There are plenty of people that take on staff members under the VAT threshold, but from someone who's above the VAT threshold, I'm still concerned I couldn't afford to take someone on.
See, I don't understand it, but then again, I don't know your accounts and your finances, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but, and this is, so I've been there, employed people, seen how the margins dwindle had that hit. It's not gone well.
Have you ever had
Come
to
away from that?
lump a load of your own money, like life savings, into OMG?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I went months without not paying myself because we just couldn't afford to.
Did you put your savings in it as well?
Yeah, well, I bought my own van that I gave to the company. So I didn't necessarily put money into it. I had no money to put into it because I wasn't getting paid. But, like, I bought van that I gave to the company.
Yeah.
So staff members drove that. It wasn't my van anymore. So that was like $8,000.
Interesting.
And there's stuff that like we bought personally that should have been bought by the business, which couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not saying it's bad all the time. We had good months, but as soon as you take on staff members, your margins will go down. Like there's no two ways about it. So if you took on a staff member now, you might not be out at night and you still took your wage or your bit of money. Even if you were still working, you might not be able to afford to pay for any marketing to grow your business.
That's
because the margin's not there. So then all you're doing is you're fighting for work to pay your staff member.
Yeah.
And then people go, it's not worth it.
And if he's
it's not worth it. Yeah. Well, if he makes a mistake and you've then got to pay to rectify it, or you're going back to fix jobs that he's not done well, which aren't earning you any new money. Well, then
I would like to know we will interview that person with 6 fans, I think it was, that we met at the business.
Yeah.
Phil, yeah. Well, I'm buzzing to interview Phil. And
we're going to go see Phil and Ralph in the new year.
And we had Dan here as well, Dan Smithson, but obviously, we just ate through that time, didn't we? Yeah, absolutely blew through. But I would really like to know what sort of problems you have employing people. Like I know it sounds silly, but I've got a couple of customers, yeah? And if you put your ladder up, right, I've got like black plastic lugs on my ladder, right? If I hit the reconstituted stone, I leave a black mark on it. Yeah? And I think I'm like, obviously make a conscious decision to not do that. Make a conscious decision to move it around the plant pots, so when you pull it, you don't knock all the plant pots over. I'd be intrigued to know how much people have smashed up cleaning windows, leaning the pole up against the thing and it drops down and smashed. Do you know what I mean?
There'll be loads. I've done it. If you've done it, the staff member's going to do it.
This is what I mean.
There's only so much you're going to be able to teach. Like some lessons have to be learned.
Yeah, of course.
And those ones, obviously you're going to say to them, don't lean your ladders against the glass.
Yeah.
But obvious stuff.
101, yeah.
But leaning it against a bit of reconstituted concrete, you don't think about that.
No,
and then you'll come away and it's marked. And then that's when you might have to go spend half a day cleaning it.
Mental, isn't it?
Which is a time lost, but it's lessons learned. So that's why hire slow, fire fast.
I do like that idea as well.
So you don't want to take on someone too quickly because they're going to make mistakes. Yeah. There's no if, it's when. They have to make mistakes to become a better employee and better at their job. Same way that we did. I've made loads of mistakes. But it's making the mistakes now teaches me how to do stuff better. And if they don't make those mistakes, I think you're just leaving yourself open for a bigger issue down the line. So you want to be able to spend that money that you're going to lose fixing problems that they've made on someone worthwhile. You don't want them to be a complete idiot and then have to pay money and then ultimately get rid of them anyway and then have to start that process again. But I think that's why people go, oh, don't take on stuff, it's a headache, because they hire too quickly, they hire before they're able to afford it, so they just start chasing money to pay staff.
Yeah, but this is the thing though. You say that, right? If you put it this way, yeah, I know what you're saying that they hire them before they're before they're ready, etc. But there is no there's no textbook on this, is there? No. It's everyone's totally.
But there is thousands and thousands of hours of information via books,
on the internet,
via YouTube videos, via seminars, via mentors. Phil has spent thousands of pounds talking to people that know more than him, and now he's got a very successful business. But people won't do that.
Yeah.
They just won't do it. They think they
know it all.
Well, it's not. I don't think they know it all, but I think they just think it's not rocket science. I'm just going to employ someone. I just pay them their money. But there's so much more to it than that. And this is a conversation we had with Jake about, and I'm gonna work out a sort of idiot's guide to explaining it. But cash flow versus profit margins.
Who's Jake?
Jake? Yeah, our Jake at the business show. And I was saying you can have good cash flow, but we'd not be making any money.
Yeah.
And you can be losing money but have cash in the bank. And he was like, no, it doesn't make sense. If I've got cash in the bank, then I've made money, haven't I?
No, but you might have spent money to get that money. Well, you would have spent money to get that money. Yeah.
But like saying it out loud just doesn't make any sense. Of course, if you've got money in the bank, you've made money. But I'm going to work out a real idiot's way of explaining it, and I'll do it at a later episode. I've actually written it down.
But you can say,
notes.
like, if I spent £650 on a marketing campaign and got £400 worth of work, there you go. You got £400 in the bank, but it's cost you £650 to earn that for. You're minus £250. Is that as black and white as you want it to say?
No. It'll be a case of you could have 10 grand in your bank account.
Yeah.
But have made a loss.
Yeah. Because you bought a van. You might have a van on strap, things like that.
Yeah. No. Like, if your business is losing money.
Yeah.
People run their business via the bank account. So they think if there's money in the bank account, they're doing well. And they can afford.
Well, that's a very good meter rule, I think. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's possibly the worst.
Why?
Because just because you've got money in your bank account doesn't mean that you're making money. Because cash flow is different from profit.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
How can you understand what I'm saying if you're disagreeing with my point?
I'm saying like for me, I understand that if I do a huge garden job and I've hired 2 geezers and a tipper.
I haven't worked out how to explain my point, but
yeah.
I'm going to find it. I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to come on here with my proof and an idiot's explanation as to how.
There'll be something online. There'll be something.
Oh, that's exactly. I'm going to ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, of course, man. There's going to be.
I'm not going to spend any time doing it. But it's. I think this industry is a little bit more black and white when it comes to business. So generally, money in is money out, but that only works for like a sole trader. If you're someone who wants to grow your business, and you go, oh yeah, I can afford that person because I have 4 grand in the bank account at the end of the month. When you go, well, actually, I've got to pay their national insurance, I've got to pay pension contributions, I've got to pay employers'
Dan said 30%, didn't they?
Yeah, you've got employers' insurance. You've got to have a higher insurance bill for your van because you've got to then make it like a fleet policy and put their name on it. All these different things that you don't ever think about. That it's just money out of your bottom line. Because it doesn't return you anything.
Answer me this then. At OMG, it was you and Kurt.
Yeah.
When did you hire someone?
Probably. So we had part-time staff members first.
But was you below the VAT?
No, we hit VAT threshold like 8 months.
Right.
Just me.
Really?
And him. Yeah. Because we were selling booths at like 500-600 quid a pop.
Yeah. You ain't got to sell a lot of you.
No, we was doing like 3 a week minimum.
Right, so that person came on part-time.
And because you're dealing with weddings, they're booked 2 years in advance, we were doing 3 a week, but we might sell 15 a week, and they'd pay 50% deposit or whatever.
But surely that wouldn't be classed as turnover for that year, no? Because if it's for a 2026 service...
To turnover's money into your bank account.
Is that that's just how they do it?
Money in, turnover is money in.
So even estate agents, that's why they're all VAT registered, because when they're collecting the rents, it's money in.
Yeah. Also, I think estate agents, there's probably, I don't know about estate agency, but there's certain industries like I'm sure it's cold food, you don't pay VAT on. So when they sell it to you, they charge VAT. But when they buy the ingredients, they don't pay VAT. No, the other way around. So they pay VAT. Yes, it's one of them, hot or cold food. They pay VAT when they buy the ingredients in, but when they sell an individual cold or hot mil, there's no VAT. So they claim all the VAT back that they've spent, but they don't have to pay anything for what they've sold.
Yeah, I see.
So they get a nice big VAT rebate at the end of every quarter. It might be something similar with estate agents.
So can you remember back to OMG when you brought someone on part-time?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we had a couple of part-time staff members within the first few months, because it would be a case of so for the first...
What's part-time? 1 day a week? 2 days?
No, they used to just do the events with us.
Okay.
So it'd be like an 8-hour shift. Of
whenever you needed it.
Yeah, whenever we needed it. But we took our first office staff member on probably 2 years in.
And was that full-time?
Yeah. And then we went to 6 full-time staff members within a year.
A year after hiring that woman?
That first one, yeah. But that was probably a mistake.
And how much time did she give you? Was it a woman you hired?
No, I think it was bloke. It was all blokes.
And what did he do? Was it marketing and things like that, or just?
So because of the nature of the business, we were able to implement X amount of events into their salary.
Okay.
So it was like,
you have to
say we paid someone 100 quid. I mean, bearing in mind this is nearly 10 years ago now. So 100 quid was a lot more money than it is now. For like an evening when you're getting home at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
That was a premium. We paid about £10 an hour when minimum wage was about £6 or £7 an hour. So we would implement, so they would do 4 days in the office and 1 event, or 3 days in the office and 2 events, depending on what they were doing. So the 2 events would save us £200 a week towards their wage, towards their salary, because we wouldn't have to send someone out.
Yeah.
And because they were office staff members, we could send them out on their own. We used to send the part-timers out in 2s. So it would cost us the driver would get £100 and the person who's not driving would get £80. So it'd be like 180 quid to man it, just on labour.
Fucking hell, if you're only spending 500 quid on the machine, you got to take a lot.
Not massive.
Labour's massive, isn't it? Labour's so dear.
But then we'd win on the ones where we were paying a salary.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because although we're not technically paying them for the event, they're getting paid for a job during the day just very well, because it's only 3 days, but we're getting those other 2 events.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And that's, so if you was to take someone on in this industry and you didn't have enough work, I think if you're taking someone on, they need to make you 10 grand a month. No ifs and buts. But if they're only making you 8 grand a month, maybe get them to do something to make up that extra 2 grand. Not in, obviously money in, because there's not enough work, but it could be a case of cleaning the vans once a week, or cleaning all the equipment once a week. I don't know, canvassing, something that's...
I think that's an interesting thing to say. They need to be earning you 10 grand. I think that's interesting because...
I've crunched the numbers. I don't think it works with anything less.
Do you really reckon it can, that can apply going forward? When you have one person, or if you have 25 people?
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, so it's only 500 quid a day, isn't it? So I know everyone's going to go, oh, you can't do 500 quid a day window. I regularly do more than 500 quid a day on my own, and I regularly finish before 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
What, on windows?
Yeah.
Just solely windows?
Yeah, those 2 busy days I do, that you've done with me a few times, they're 600 quid plus.
You're not home before 2 o'clock?
I got home at 2:30 on the busier one. I think I finished at 1 on the quieter one.
What time did you start? 6?
8.
All right, fair enough.
The commercial day,
running through
the commercial day, I do 600 quid. We're done before 12.
Yeah, but that's lumped on one gaff.
Yeah, but it doesn't. That doesn't matter. It's the monetary value that person's bringing to you. So you could say to them, "That's Friday."
No, I was bringing up the fact that you said you're home before 2 o'clock. That's the fact I was bringing up.
Yeah, but if you was paying someone, they didn't need to be home before 2 o'clock. But doing the lion's share of 600 quid in one job benefits massively. Yeah. But if you're paying someone, their contracted hours will be 8 till 4.
Yeah, totally.
So they don't have to work as efficiently. They
No.
can go a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But if they do work as efficiently, they might get 700 quid's worth of work done if the waters doesn't run out.
So
You know, but I
would
wouldn't
need
expect
them,
him to do that much. I think 500's an easy
you would
thing.
need them to generate.
But it's my job to make sure that's compact. They can't be driving Southend to Billericay.
So then, at what point then do you reckon? Because it's all well and good saying that and take someone on, yeah. But then But bearing in mind that frees you up to do marketing, yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you genuinely think you can get enough marketing done on your own to then get another person, then another? Because surely, if you've got like 5 or 6 geezers.
No, I think I probably will stay on the tools. I'm not going to come off the tools after one staff member. I think I'll probably...
When do you reckon you can come off the tools? After 2?
3, I think.
3 as in 3 individual vans going out?
Yeah, so obviously I've been talking to Phil a lot. He's got about 1,200 customers and he's got a business partner, so there's 2 of them. They're both not on the tools. Mm-hmm. And they've got 2 full-time and 1 part-time staff member that cover all 1,200 customers.
Mate, seriously?
And they're both off the tools. So if I can get to the same point as him, I could potentially take both their wages, whatever they're having, for myself and have all the work covered. I mean, I'm a little bit far off of 1,200 customers. I've got about 200 at the moment.
Yeah, but mate, I mean, look at the conversation with Dan.
Yeah.
I mean, you're 10 months off of 500, didn't you? You can.
Yeah. So I'll probably 2.5 years off of 1,200. But I'm a staff member until that point. So it's like I could potentially, and that might change. That's just a guess. But like Dan does 6 weekly, Phil does 6 and 12 weekly. Doing 4 and 8 weekly, I might find that my income's much higher. So I don't need 1,200 customers. I might only need 800 customers.
See, that's another thing.
At which point,
as well, yeah.
you know, at which point 500 in 10 months.
Do you think them boys
doable within a year?
Do you think them boys grow to 1,200 and 1,500 and 2,000 because they do 6 and 12 weekly? Like, if realistically, if they done monthly, do you reckon they're going to fit all them people in?
Of course they will. It'll just be more work.
That's what I'm saying. But like, do you think? Yeah, of course. But more work needs doing. Do you think they can only get to that stage and that many people only if they do 6 and 12 weekly? No. So they do 6 and 12 week. Again, I don't know why that's the go-to. Yeah.
I don't know if they know.
Speak to your mate.
Yeah, I will. But I've asked him. I don't know why.
No, it went over your head. The other mate.
What mate?
The one who loves us.
No, Lee.
There is a reason.
I think Lee done it because he's servicing 10,000 customers.
Yeah.
So it's obviously the further apart. If you've got 6 weekly customers, you've got 6 weeks of days. Before you've got 30 days. Before you're repeating.
Yeah.
So one staff member can service 6 weeks. It's not 30 days, it's 45 days, isn't it, pretty much?
Why? 6 times 5.
Oh, you were talking about, sorry, I'm talking about like actual days, yeah. 30 working days, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you ain't going to work weekends, is it?
No, well, yeah. The 30 working days before you need to take on another staff member for more work. So your labour to staff member ratio.
Just do the maths though. How many? I think comfortably someone can do 20 to 25 houses comfortably across the board, all sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 20 to 25. Then you got times that by 10, 250. Times that by 3. You've got 750. So that means one person can do 750 houses in 6 weeks.
Yeah. That might be a push.
Why? All right, do 20 then.
I think having someone work to that capacity every day, like it just might be a bit too much.
But what I'm saying is, in 6 weeks, one person can knock out an awful lot, can't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So Phil explained it to me as roughly one staff member per 400 customers.
on a 6 or 12 weekly basis?
Well, yeah, I guess so, because that's what he does.
Mate, we need someone to shout out and let us know, because it's not computing in my brain.
Fucking retard brain can't work it out.
Do you know what I mean, though? I'm like, if someone said to me, can I be taken on a 12 weekly, I'd be like, mate, get out of here.
Yeah, but that's because it doesn't work for you.
Yeah, I'm not built around it. It just doesn't make sense to me.
That's not... So, I'm not going to do 6 and 12 weekly, I'm going to do 4 and 8 weekly.
Yeah.
But I might still offer 12 weekly because it fits into the 4 weekly schedule.
See, even to me, even doing 4 weekly is interesting, because I would personally, I would go by the day of the month. I know you for every 4 weeks you get...
That's monthly though.
That's what I mean.
So monthly's 12 cleans a year, 4 weekly's 13 cleans.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So if you times that one clean by...
How many
500 customers.
Yeah, it adds up to
over the year. That's going to be
big potatoes, isn't it?
Extra 10 grand a year.
Yeah, it does add up. I must say.
20 quid a clean.
Yeah,
which is huge.
It is rich.
So that's like nearly, it was nearly a whole salary for doing 4 weekly over monthly. And that staff member can still service the same amount of customers, like in the given time frame.
Yeah, I understand.
So, from a business point of view, I don't think it makes sense to do 6 and 12 weekly, because you're. Do you know
what it is though?
You're lowering your income per month.
Do you know what I think it is though? We are focusing too much on the actual window cleaning aspect of it, because a lot of them will be like, yeah, but that's just getting your foot in the door. After that, their days are made up with pressure washing or gutter clearing or gutter
yeah.
like that. Do you see what I mean? So like, yes, they have those customers, and yes, it does pay, that's the bill paying, but actually they're all focused. They might have go and do three windows a day, but then obviously they've got gutters and then might have a driveway after.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I'd like to know how their days look.
I think you'd have to have, if you was busy enough, you'd have to have either someone who, cause you have like rounds, didn't you? So if you had 20 jobs in Benfleet, all within a 5-minute drive of each other, you wouldn't want to, like if 4 of those customers were like, can we have our gutters done? You really wouldn't want to split like that day up into 2 days. So you'd have to have a second staff member
to push them along.
To either go and do the gutters and then maybe do another 4 gutters somewhere else in a day, or do half of the Benfleet work, half of the Benfleet windows, and then the other staff member does half with the 4 gutters at the jobs you were going to. But then that requires an additional staff member to have that level of work, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because if you're paying someone, you need to at least cover their wage for the day.
Oh, mate, mega.
In work. So if you said, you've got these 20 jobs and 3 of them want their gutters done, is it doable in a day?
20 jobs,
potentially in the summer when you've got longer light, but in the winter that ain't happening.
20 and 3 guys,
So you'd have to split
the day up.
You'd have to split the day into 2, so do 10 in one day with 3 guys.
Or you just have a gutter man. You just have a man driving around and he does...
But that's an additional staff member.
Yeah, I see.
If you split that day into 2 to implement the 3 gutters, you then need to have the next day spare to put the 10 gutters in.
Yeah, of course.
But presumably, because you've taken on the staff member, that day's already going to be filled. So what do you do? So that might be a case where if I've got a staff member and I'm off the tools, just logistically, I'll jump in and go and do 3 gutters.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. You know, or something like that.
And then shout them all and tell them they're all useless.
Yeah. Well, that's standard part of employing people. If you can't do that, you shouldn't employ anyone. I'll do it to you, not even my staff member. Right, so one thing I wanted to touch on before we finish, because we're at 55 minutes, is squeegee. So you said you have signed up, but you haven't signed up.
Yes.
You wanted to ask a question. What's your question? Fire away.
No, it was what package have you got? Because I looked at potentially having 1, 2 or 3, and I think it was number 2 I liked.
I don't think number 3 is for when you've got staff members.
Mate, it goes up to number 4.
Does it?
Yeah. So that's what that because it threw me, because I thought maybe it's changed since you downloaded it.
I'd just do the basic one.
Yeah.
And if you find that there's a feature that you need that you haven't got, then just upgrade it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I'd say that to anyone. Squeegee is a slightly more premium price than some others, but you do get premium service and premium features. And if the bigger your business gets, the higher you need to go on the level of service. So I don't know what's included in the basic that's sorry, not including the basic, it's included in the next package up. But say, for example, it was like bulk emailing or something. Well, you might not need that at the moment because you've only got 15 regular customers or whatever. But a year from now, you might have 100, and you go, actually now, it's much more convenient for me to pay an extra £4 a month and have that feature, even if I only send 4 emails a year, than have to fucking contemplate 100 emails, put them into MailChimp, make the email, like, just do it all on Squeegee. So much more convenient. But yeah, I just start with the basic and then work your way up.
All right, nice one. And yeah, what was you going to touch on?
That's why I wrote down Squeegee.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know you said it at the beginning, and I thought...
No, I appreciate that, yeah, 100%.
I thought it was going to be a lot more engaging.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Mate, come on, me engaging. Fucking hell. All right, lads and lasses.
Why don't you tell your story about the other night?
No, mate, no. I will tell that story, but not on the internet.
Only in person. So if you meet Dan in person, make sure you ask about the Tuesday night conundrum, the Sunday night conundrum. Yeah.
Yes, mate. Okay, everyone.
Up for us, son. See us out.
See us out. Thanks everyone for watching another episode. I'm going to be nice and quick. Remember.
Oh, wait on. We've got another guest episode next week.
Have we?
Yeah. Gavin, Rayleigh Gutter. And I think
we touched on this with Dan.
We will do so we didn't do the how many customers with Dan because that was going to be a mental one. But Gavin is on the list, and he potentially. He's on 23. Well, I've done good maths there. I'm written 30. Oh, so I totaled it before we added the next lot in. The guy from Wales is on 33. So he's in a hard second place at the moment.
He's running away with it, isn't he?
I'd like to know how many customers, how many regular customers Clean Wales has got. Yeah. 33 is an awful lot to add.
He's fine.
Bearing in mind, Dan was adding 50 a month. Yeah. Presumably, he'd have to be sort of off the tools, so he should have quite a few customers. Unless he's got confused and said how many new jobs he's added.
Maybe. Or he's like the...
Or he's just bullshitted to win the competition.
Yeah, maybe. And he just wants like...
We do need...
He wants a 21 litre 21 litre per minute pressure washer we're giving away.
We do need... are we going to need some sort of proof, I think?
Well, no, we'll see. Well, listen, tell him to send over his details and that. He might have 4 vans on the road.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what makes sense.
Anywho, thank you everyone for watching another episode of the Uncleanables Podcast, and remember, stay cleaning.
Yeah, bitch.